Karrimor is a British brand of backpacks, outdoor and sports equipment, and clothing, and also refers to the companies of the same name, Karrimor International Limited and Karrimor Limited, as well as the separate company Karrimor SF from 1998. However, when hobbyists and enthusiasts refer to Karrimor products, they are typically referring to the original and closed outdoor pursuit company Karrimor International Limited, of the 1950s–1990s. This article primarily covers this now closed company. The company was initially called the Karrimor Bag Company in 1946, and was founded by Charles and Mary Parsons and her sister Grace Davies, who hand-sewed cotton duck bicycle saddlebags from the upstairs of their Lancashire cycle shop. Under the leadership of the founder's son, Mike Parsons, the company went on from 1960 to build an international reputation for design and build quality of rucksacks, outdoor clothing, and footwear, which for most of its history it manufactured in Clayton-le-Moors, Lancashire, England. Among its successes from 1960 to the family's sale of the business in 1996 were the innovation of the frameless backpack with integrated hip belt system widely used today, the innovation of durable waterproof toughened nylon fabrics, the closed foam camping mattress, the first lightweight shock absorbent fabric suede boots, and at least one product design award. The family's gradual releasing of control over Karrimor from 1993, in order to allow growth by acquisition, was its eventual undoing. Initially in 1993 a minority stake was given to investors to fund acquisition of two other companies. These were intended to allow Karrimor to expand and consolidate its strong market position, but instead, within a few years they had placed Karrimor itself into desperate financial difficulty. During 1996 further external investors were brought in and the family's control of the business ceded, in an attempt to re-establish a solid financial footing. However, it transpired that these new owners and investors instead saw Karrimor in terms of fashion and retail rather than the design and manufacture of market-changing products for which the company was renowned. As a result, 1996 saw the external investors splitting the core Karrimor business from the retail chain. 1998 saw the founding family forced out amid very severe disagreements about company direction, and the core business was then sold a second time in 1999. Within a day of the sale completing, the company was stunned by its new owners, when they announced a day after purchasing the business, their plans to cease existing in-house manufacturing completely and the intention to change the group to a sales, marketing and distribution business. Their commercially unsuccessful purchase of the 15-store YHA outlet retail chain in 2003, and their unwillingness to invest in the now loss-making sales and retail business that remained, led to the company's financial failure and receivership in March 2004. Upon collapse, Karrimor's brand name and the remaining assets were rapidly acquired by Sports Direct Limited. History = original company = Early history. Karrimor was founded and based in Lancashire, England, following World War II, with the company moving early on from Wroughton Stall shop premises to nearby Clayton-le-Moors. Its history began in 1943, when Waterfoot bicycle shop owner Charles Parsons went blind from an accident that had occurred in 1939. Under war and post-war conditions, he was also unable to obtain saddlebag and pannier stock for sale, but was still able to buy local raw fabric. His wife and her sister began to make bicycle bags for his shop, which the family also began to sell locally to other shops. This led to the Karrimor Bag Company being formed in 1946. As a saddlebag manufacturer it competed with companies then in the same industry, such as Karratz and Dunlop. The company was incorporated and changed its name to Karrimor Weathertight Products in April 1952, before diversifying into backpacks in 1958. Where during the 1960s and 1970s it made its reputation, growth and renown. Karrimor was still small when their son Mike Parsons joined in 1960, and began to build the 6-employee company into a renowned international outdoor equipment manufacturer. The company's growth arose from a number of factors. For Karrimor, the buoyant market and its expansion, combined with an influx of hobbyists seeking equipment, local expertise, extensive networking, an existing established business, first-mover advantage, and a CEO who himself avidly engaged the hobbyist perspective on equipment and had considerable design skills, proved a fertile combination for the company's expansion. Indeed, the 30-year period 1960–1990 has been described as a golden age for UK outdoor pursuit entrepreneurial companies generally. A major example of this synergistic combination of factors was Karrimor's innovation of the first robustly waterproof lightweight nylon texturized fabric, marketed as KS100E. Within 1960s textiles, cotton fibers expand when wet, bond to many coatings, and cotton fabrics are therefore easily made waterproof and rot-proof, but remain relatively heavy and cumbersome, and far from an ideal backpack textile, while nylon fabrics are lightweight, tough, flexible, easily cleaned, but technically very difficult to waterproof other than by adding coatings, and when untreated are always permeable to water. Therefore in the 1960s, robustly waterproof fabrics were still largely based on rubberized coatings, duck cotton and the like, even though these flexed poorly and added weight. In collaboration with a local company, Karrimor developed an elastomer nylon process in which toughened nylon fabric was waterproofed without significant weight or additional coatings, and without losing its natural flexibility, durability, texture, or other desirable qualities. The KSB footwear range was another example, combining lightweight fabric suede uppers, new shock absorbent materials, and fellow Briton Ken Ledward's innovative sole, to create boots that were lightweight, tough, and shock absorbent. Groundbreaking designs were also brought to market in diverse areas such as backpack design, camping mats, and other areas of equipment manufacture. Famous climbs such as Annapurna and Everest using Karrimor equipment also had a lasting impact on the company's profile in its field, and gave its products a reputation for functionality and usability. At times, this left manufacturing output struggling to keep up with demand. In this way, between 1960 and 1990 the company innovated successfully and gained international recognition for many of its products. Its first factory opened in 1965, in nearby Hazelingden, with two more following. The 1960s also saw business revenue grow 800% in the first exports. In line with its growing global reputation and prominence, in 1975 the company changed name once more, to Karrimor International Limited. By then, Karrimor was supplying an estimated 80% of the UK backpack market, and exporting some 40% of products. Recession and resurgence. The early 1980s recession and pressure on manufacturing and exports were difficult, or even disastrous, for Karrimor, as for many other manufacturers and exporters in the UK. Two of the company's 3 factories closed and 100 of the 300-strong workforce were made redundant. Determined to remain focused on the manufacturing strengths of the business, a core selling and reputation point, Parsons sustained the business by investing in product lines that would sell counter-seasonally to backpacks, and modernized Karrimor by visiting the United States to learn newer business practices, where manufacturing and business practices were often far in advance of those in the UK. According to Parsons, the changes cost the family-owned business over £1 million by completion, but left Karrimor at the start of the 1990s as the industry's most significant supplier, and it continued to win awards and renown. Pre-receivership achievements and recognition. Karrimor's pre-receivership highlights included the Alpinist backpack of the 1960s and Purple Haston Alpinist pack of the 1970s, a Euro described as dominating the decade in terms of climbing packs, a Euro leading to Chris Bonington's team in their well-publicized 1975 ascent of Everest Southwest face using Karrimor equipment. KS100E, a pioneering waterproof nylon-based fabric invented in 1973. A British Design Award in 1991 for the Condor backpack. The design of the ubiquitous SA backpack support system. And pioneering development within lightweight fabric suede footwear with a KSB range. Backpacks at that time were often made from heavy fabrics or with a solid external frame. The Alpinist and its relatives was the first modern non-frame backpack, in the sense of being lightweight with a weight transferred to an integrated hip belt via a close-fit back support system. This was the forerunner of all non-frame modern packs of this kind. During this period, Karrimor offered a lifetime warranty on its products, and was reputed for its in-house warranty and repairs service, often many years after the product purchase had taken place. These lifetime warranties are no longer honored by the new owners of the Karrimor brand. Other highlights also included the introduction of closed-cell foam mattresses known as the Karrimat, and Karrimor's first exports and first experiments with nylon backpacks in 1967, leading also to the first marketed waterproof nylon cycle bags in the 1970s, as well as the first mountain marathon. For many years during the second half of the 20th century, Karrimor was a world-status innovator and brand in its field of outdoor equipment. Its range covered backpacks, clothing, hiking boots, and other camping, clothing and mountaineering equipment for outdoors activities. At the time of its 2004 receivership, OutdoorsMagic.com website described Karrimor as having a tremendous tradition, a history that included legendary products, and a very strong brand name. Past owner Industrial Invest concurred, stating that the company had an international reputation for outstanding products, and in a 1996 review of top British manufacturers, The Independent described Karrimor as a leader in its field, albeit one that it felt had failed to invest and expand. The awards continued well into the 1990s. In 1991 Parsons and Karrimor received the Outdoor Writers and Photographers Guild Golden Boot Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Outdoors, and in 1993 the company was one of 15 winners in the Best UK Factory Awards, with Management Today describing Karrimor as a world-renowned manufacturer that had responded to the 1980s recession by investing heavily in automated production, US-based stock flow processes, and production flexibility. In 1999, Cullinan's acquisition document stated of Karrimor that it was, one of the leading European designers and distributors of technical rucksacks, outdoor clothing, footwear and related accessories. In its 52-year history, Karrimor has built its reputation for excellence on the back of innovative and groundbreaking product development. Much of the research that went into this development was carried out on headline-making expeditions. These include a host of Everest descents, exploration of the world's deepest caves and lost wildernesses and, most recently, the Grand Slam trek to the North Pole, South Pole and the highest peak on each of 5 continents. Rucksack sales currently account for almost 30% of Karrimor's business and, thanks to their technological halo, the company has been able to extend the brand into other categories of outdoor living such as tents, sleeping bags and technical outerwear. The clothing range extends from thermal base layers, fleece mid-layers and waterproof breathable outerwear to footwear and accessories. Karrimor is one of the few outdoor brands that carries a full product line and enjoys international brand recognition among the outdoor enthusiasts and the most extensive retail distribution of any European outdoor company. Its products are sold in over 450 shops in the UK and exported to 22 countries. Karrimor SF, around 1995, Karrimor conceived, along with outside party Derek Gollop, a Special Forces range, Karrimor SF, which was launched as a separate company around 1998. It targeted police and military equipment needs. Being outside the Karrimor International Group, the company was unaffected by Karrimor's later 2004 breakup and remains commercially active as of 2013 with its own products in production. Financial distress in post-receivership. New company history. During the late 1990s and 2000s, Karrimor's business grew but its financial robustness faltered as it took on investors and bought other companies. The UK was again in recession during 1990–1993, which was weathered without redundancies. As the economy recovered and entered an extended boom, and the business continued to demonstrate its commercial strength, reputation and win yet further awards, the family sold the majority of the business in stages to outside investors to gain external investment, as the business sought to consolidate and expand its market position by growing through acquisition and increase its market presence in related areas such as retail and distributorships. Acquisitions. Gartmore 121 Invest. In 1993 the family sold 25% of the business to investment business Gartmore to fund expansion, via the acquisition of Phoenix Mountaineering and Life Cycle. the strategy that did not work as hoped, and by 1996 was placing the business into a desperate financial position. Faced with financial losses, a banking system that did not adequately support long-term capital funding of the kind needed by the business, and a need for funding to support investment, a controlling majority stake in the business was transferred to investment group 21 Invest, the investing arm of the Italian Bonomi and Benetton empires, for £7 million, with Mike Parsons becoming Karrimor's president. Andrea Bonomi, the venture capital company's 31-year-old owner, had felt that Britain was a fantastic place for manufacturing, but underappreciated by British people themselves, and considered Karrimor an exemplary family business, owned by a hard-working family with a fiercely loyal workforce, and a good choice for UK investment. Under 21 Invest, Karrimor purchased Low Alpine's distributor Europa Sport, also acquiring Europa's existing distribution rights for other manufacturers. The purchase was anticipated to boost Karrimor's group revenues, already £19 million, to a peak at around £30 million, and propel the company into second place in the UK footwear market and also consolidate its position within sports and leisure products. However, 21 Invest and Parsons found they strongly disagreed about the company's future plans, leading to very severe problems. A 2001 article states of this period that venture capitalists attempt to turn its products into a fashion range, and in early 1998 Parsons was forced out. We had very severe problems at the end. But there were no successors and we had already taken venture capital in, so once you've done that you're one step closer to selling the business anyway. 21 Invest ultimately reported a substantial return on their investment, having focused on Karrimor's existing retail stores and international sales, before selling Karrimor's core business onward in 1999 to South African leisure group Cullinan Holdings. 21 Invest also exited Mountain Warehouse 3 years later in 2002. Cullinan Holdings, within a day of the 1999 sale completing, new owners Cullinan stunned the company by announcing plans for cessation of existing manufacturing and the intention to change Karrimor to a sales, marketing and distribution business. There was local fury, as the company and employees had been given assurances just one day earlier prior to completion of sale about their commitments to the business, to its workforce, and about future plans. Cullinan did not comment on the matter. The director of local Karrimor supplier Toughened Manufacturing also stepped in, to try and save the fleece garment product range and its 30 staff. In March 2003, the company bought YHA Outlets, a chain of 15 outdoor products retail outlets. The acquisition was not a success partly due to misjudged price cutting at stores of products including Karrimor's own Euro, and Karrimor were unable to recover. The falling sales, and Cullinan's unwillingness to invest in the business led to the company going into receivership in March 2004. At the time it had around 250 employees and sales of around £18.7 million. Within 24 hours, by March 9, 2004, its assets were bought out for £5 million by Lonsdale Sports, part of the Sports Direct group of companies, who broke up the company, sold the outlets, retaining mainly the rights to the brand name, which was licensed to such events as the long-standing Karrimor International Mountain Marathon, and the company's intellectual property. Post-receivership and Sports Direct, following completion of the transaction, customer service activities such as lifetime warranties and repair services on previously sold goods were cancelled or outsourced. Manufacturing in the UK largely ended. Some of Karrimor's previous management started a business under the name 0 Degrees, which for a short time also produced outdoor equipment. Some warranty and repair workers remained active with Karrimor products at the associated company Lancashire Sports Repairs, which until around 2012 acted as Karrimor's warranty, repair, and after-sales service provider, and as of 2013 provides paid repair services of Karrimor equipment. As of 2013, the Karrimor brand remains and is licensed and used for marketing and product branding purposes. Sports Direct continue to sell Karrimor branded products, which are as of 2013 largely made in China rather than the UK. External and post-Karrimor activities of key figures: Mike Parsons, founder and innovation director for OMM Limited, the owner of the original Mountain Marathon from 2004 to 2010, appointed Entrepreneurial Fellow, later Innovator in Residence, at the Institute for Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development, part of Lancaster University Management School. Developed designs for Renaissance veteran Swiss mountaineering company Treccani. Co-founded the Innovation for Extremes Conference in Lancashire, authored books and papers covering in particular the history of innovation and textiles in outdoor equipment, and research into the equipment quality and fate of the ill-fated 1924 attempt on Everest by Mallory. As at 2013 states on his web profile that he has competed in over 30 mountain marathons, and climbed on all 7 continents including 18 summits not known to be climbed before. List of publications. Jennifer Longbottom, Eddie Krieg, Larry Olmsted, Karrimor Japan, founder-designer of bag and travel luggage brand Entomodal. References. External links, company-specific, official site, various history of Karrimor articles by third parties, outdoorfreedom.co.za. INV8.com or Karrimor Detailed History, INV8.com or The Evolution of Outdoor Gear, by Karrimor Insiders Innovation-for-Extremes.net, Karrimor website about page, Parsons and Rose Communities of Knowledge, Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Networks in the British Outdoor Trade 1960 1990 covers history of Karrimor to 1990 by former chairman Mike Parsons, from humble beginnings a 50th anniversary history of Karrimor, pub. Geographical. December 1996, Volume 68 Issue 12, p10. Gallery of Historic Karrimor Products and Clippings on inv8.com.au, Karrimor-related news articles from the Lancashire Telegraph, 1995 onward, comprehensive online coverage of Karrimor, example page from Karrimor prior to 2004 receivership a showing highlights of product build design at that time, 1975 coverage of Chris Bonington's visit to Karrimor in preparation for his attempt the same year on Everest pub. Textile Institute and Industry. March 1975, Volume 13 Issue 3, p68, Other related books and papers, Krieg, E., The Development of Rucksack Fabrics a Climber and Rambler, pages 49 a 50 and also paper presented at WIRA 1982 with InDesign for Survival by Karrimor designer Eddie Krieg. Invisible on Everest and related author commentary a 2003 book on the history of innovation in mountaineering equipment, co-authored by Karrimor founder Mike Parsons, Parsons M. and Rose M.B., The Neglected Legacy of Lancashire Cotton, Industrial Clusters and the UK Outdoor Trade, 1960 a 1990, pub. Enterprise and Society, 6, 4, 682 a 709.